Diplomacy between the European Union and Russia must be restarted. Well, wait, my friends, before you go in the comments and write that I'm a Russian asset, I need to tell you that these are not my words, but the message behind the recent declarations by very important European leaders, such as the Chancellor of Germany, Friedrich Merz, President of France, Emmanuel Macron, and Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni. Guys, these are very important comments by EU leaders, because for the last 4 years, the EU has completely refused to talk to the Russians and seek a diplomatic solution to finally end the war in Ukraine. Instead, the European strategy has been simply to give money and weapons to Ukraine as long as it takes, so they could defeat Russia on the battlefield. Of course, this strategy has failed. The United States of Donald Trump tried a different strategy, which is to find a diplomatic solution. Of course, this is a problem for the EU, because we have our allies deciding a peace deal with Russia and Ukraine without any significant input by Europeans. We're simply not in the negotiating table of the most serious problem in our continent. And clearly, the US is taking advantage of Ukraine and will profit economically from this war, thanks to all the American weapons bought by us and the rare earth minerals deal in Ukraine. Thank God that some European leaders are starting to realize this, that the EU should have been a peacemaker and we should have not let Americans decide our fate. Just like Chancellor Merz says, Russia is Europe's biggest neighbor. So of course it is in our best interest that we Europeans are the peacemakers of this war, together of course with Ukraine, because the Russians will always be our neighbors and we will anyway have to deal with them once the war ends. Instead, right now, we're just letting our American allies decide on our behalf with the hope that we might have a say in the final deal. Yes, guys, I know I'm not asking something simple. Ending the war through diplomacy is a very hard job, because it means making concessions to Russia, which is considered the main enemy of the EU. Also, it's not easy to deal with Putin, who has clearly been playing with Trump the last year. But the truth is that diplomacy is the only way that this war will end. A victory in the battlefield seems almost impossible. And to keep fighting comes at the cost of the lives of thousands of Russian and Ukrainian soldiers and civilians. Merz, Meloni, and Macron, I think your comments are going to the right direction. And I hope Ursula von der Leyen and the top diplomat of the EU, Kaja Kallas, also start making some actions to reopen diplomacy between Russia and the EU. But I'm curious to hear what you think, guys. Do you think the direction that these three leaders are taking right now is in the right direction? Let us all know in the comments below.